What does it actually mean when Spotify says Mexico City is the world's music streaming Mecca? And how did Mexico City grow to become Spotify's most populous global market? Let's look at these terms' definitions and what they mean for Spotify and Mexico. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel so that we can create more content like this, sharing knowledge on Latin America. Mexico currently has the largest global listening base on Spotify, according to a blog post. The city with the highest Spotify usage is Mexico City, the nation's capital. In the city, for instance, Adele had 448,557 listeners as of the time this piece was written, whereas in London, the second largest city on the planet, she has 323,871 listeners. As a result, Mexico City outperforms supercities like Sao Paulo in terms of Spotify listeners, surpassing London, New York, and all other major cities worldwide. But how is that even possible? Mexico City had an estimated population of 8.855 million in 2015, compared to 8.427 million in New York. The fact that Mexico City has more listeners than New York seems only natural, right? Yet, at the same time, Tokyo, the world's most populous metropolis at the time, had a population of 37 million people, whereas Sao Paulo had a population of only 12 million. Despite the fact that each town's population increased, the proportions remained the same. Why does Mexico City have more listeners than all these cities is beyond comprehension. Is that the case, though? How did Mexico City turn into the world's music streaming Mecca? Mexico's culture has long placed a high value on music. Mariachi, Chilena, and modern Mexican pop are all well known. With the help of well-known musicians and performers from other nations, like BTS, these musical genres have transcended national boundaries and gained global recognition. It should come as no surprise that Mexicans are passionate about all genres of music. This is evident from the results of the most recent IFPI Music Listening Report for 2019, which reveal how highly valued this kind of art is in Mexico. 62% of listeners there identify as music fans or music enthusiasts. They listen to music for an astounding 25.6 hours on average per week, which is far more than the 18 hours per week that are thought to be the global norm. Since the sales of headphones and smartphones have been rising rapidly over the past few years, we can notice a considerable impact on those markets. Additionally, since telecom market prices have declined, more people can now use these services, enabling them to listen to more music. Overall, the conditions have been very favorable for the Mexicans of Mexico City to listen to more music. But we are missing something in this situation. Favoring the work of local artists is a fundamental part of Mexican culture. That is correct, really. Mexicans consider it essential to appreciate and admire their culture rather than engage in marketing or pay greater attention to foreign artists. As a result, they have a long history of promoting their homegrown artists, as is seen in the Pixar film Coco Sing-Along. Additionally, Mexican artists have been utilizing Spotify since its launch, which contributes to the consolidation of the local industry, particularly the independent sector. Without being bound by harsh label contracts, Spotify enables independent composers, vocalists, songwriters, and musicians to write and publish their own songs. They still require a label, of course, but Spotify and other streaming platforms have given rise to new labels that actually support their artists. Mexico is the favored location for live performances because of all the aforementioned elements, including the high rate of music consumption there, the value placed on homegrown artists, and the affection Mexicans have for music. Do you know what the Corona Capital Music Festival is? Do not be alarmed, there is no connection to the coronavirus. Corona, or the Crown's Capital, is a yearly festival that takes place in Mexico City. Corona is the Spanish word for crown. It has been around since 2010, and various notable performers have performed there. The festival this year will take place on November 18th and 20th and has a fantastic lineup. Mexico City is one of the world's music capitals, and this truth won't be kept a secret for much longer. Due to the hiring of several Mexican musicians by some of the biggest international companies, the whole music industry is keeping a close eye on Mexico. It is simple to understand why Mexico City has become the global center for music streaming. Due to this phenomenal growth, we can be certain that Mexican musicians will appear on Spotify's and Billboard's most played playlists. If you've liked videos like this, please subscribe to our channel to help us grow. Our goal is to become one of the leading channels on sharing our love for the great region of Latin America.